The Alto prior art involves an Alto computer designed by Xerox in Palo Alto, California in the early mid-70s. It was specifically designed so as to be linked to other computers via a network called the Ethernet. Here you can see the cable, the Ethernet cable that connects the two Alto computers, each of which is a standalone device. You see the plug in the socket is even labeled Ethernet. And here the magnetic disk is loaded that contains the software for the games. Each of the devices, of course, has its own software. Here we're booting up one of the devices, the one on the left, to play Maze War. And after typing in Maze War Run, and we go into the program, you see it was created the 22nd of November, 1979. And now we're going to type in the suitable name. This guy is typing in Bomber. It's going to be the name of this particular player. And this is the Duke Host, as you can see, be the master. And this is a three-dimensional view of the maze at the location where Bomber happens to be looking. And down below you see a two-dimensional plan view of the maze, the whole maze. And there's a little arrow, if you can look in the upper right-hand portion, upper right-hand corner of the maze. There you can see it better. And you see the little arrow pointing, and that's Bomber, traversing around the maze in a standalone mode where he's playing himself, just moving around in the maze. And of course, if we could see upstairs to the three-dimensional view, you would be able to see him moving along the hallways. Now we have two Alto computers connected together in this particular demonstration of the Ethernet, and now the second player is going to sign on and going to run the same program, Maze War, that's been loaded into the magnetic by the magnetic cartridge into his machine, and he's going to select a name, and his name is Killer. And so we have Killer on the right and Bomber on the left. And now Killer is in the game, and you can see that he, at the moment, sees himself there in the maze and his view of the two-dimensional view of the maze, and he now knows that Bomber is also involved. Bomber now knows that Killer is involved. So both of them now are talking to each other. The computers know that they're there, and they're playing, two players on two different computers playing the same game. And as you can see, the one on the right, Killer, is moving around the hallways while Bomber is standing still at this moment. So Killer is trying to find Bomber, and when he finds Bomber, he will be able to see Bomber's eyeball. And if Bomber happens to be looking the right direction, Bomber will be able to see Killer's eyeball. And sure enough, in Bomber's view, you can see Killer coming toward him now down the hallway, while Killer is moving down the hallway, and now we're facing each other, and each sees the eyeball of the other. Now Killer turns around, so Bomber turns around as well and can't see Killer anymore. Now they're looking at each other again. They can see each other. You can see when they turn and not looking at the other person, that eyeball disappears. And now Bomber's moving around the maze, trying to get away from Killer, perhaps. Killer's moving. Oh, they shot each other. Looks like Bomber got hit. And he's moving now around the maze, trying to get away from Killer. Each time they get hit, they get put to a different part of the maze to start over again, and there's a score that's kept here. In this case, Bomber has -5 and Killer has 10. And they're now proceeding on, and somebody hit the other person, and now the score was tied up 5-5. You can see two people playing here, both Bomber and Killer. When Bomber gets hit, his screen flashes. Now he's in a part of, he's moving, well, oops, and he got hit again by Killer. And he's moving, Bomber's moving around. Oh, he found Killer again. Is Bomber going to be able to catch Killer this time? We'll see. Killer got hit. The flashing screen on Killer's side indicates that Bomber